Hi, it's Jay here. I want to just show you one of my favorite art activities, and really, it's very cross curricular in that I often pull in some math themes here, looking at fractional parts or even naming 2D shapes and kind of giving kids a bit of a scavenger hunt as they create a really cool art piece. I've also used a land quilt idea in social studies or in science where we're looking at physical features, and students would actually take their own photographs on iPads and upload their images to complete kind of a visual story about what they're learning about. They look quite stunning, and as I just click on different images here, you can just see that I've imported some images, whether from Google or from pictures I've actually taken, and I'm using a masking feature, which is beside the crop button, and that's where you can cut a picture into any shape that you like. And not many people know you can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the 1/4 of this image, because then what I'm able to do is copy all of that and paste it and flip it, and we're going to make something that looks a lot like a kaleidoscope image. So we only need 1/4 of the page to be finished. I have a small triangle shape there. I'm going to go up to my image and search the web this time, and perhaps I'm looking for something like some rock. Let's see what comes up here. I really like the texture of this one's kind of neat, and it kind of contrast with the other images around it. So it's going to go in like a large image, of course, and I'm going to just go to my crop button again, click beside it to find mask, and choose a triangular shape. I want one with a 90-degree angle there. And right now you can see it's rectangular, and I probably want one that's square. So as I drag the side, I'm going to kind of visualize that square in my head. That looks a bit closer there. So obviously we're going to have to do some turning and some shrinking to make this guy fit. And there's a bit of finesse involved with getting all your pieces to fit the way you want. So now it's kind of aligned the right way. And let's drag it over and see if it does fit into the space. So it's close. I'm going to shrink it down some more until it seems like it's just right. And it looks like the angle is a bit off. So this is where you can kind of put one of your vertexes into a corner here, and you can play with your stretch buttons to kind of pull it down. I'm going to pull it over like that. I'm going to stretch it again here and see how close we can get. We'll shrink it all down so it fits. So you can see now I've kind of filled that space in. That leaves one more rectangle there. I'm going to go and search one other image. And perhaps this time we're looking for, let's see, perhaps we're talking about some swamplands. We came across this in our travels today. So I'm going to snag maybe this image here, some nice swampy moss. And that's a rectangular shape, so I'm going to just kind of visualize what that's going to look like. I can use my rectangular crop this time, because that's the shape I'm looking for. And shrink it down. We'll see how close we are. And then, of course, I can just manipulate the handles here to make it fit just so. And bring it down to there. And great. So we have the 1/4 of the page finished now. And what I want to do is just click and drag over everything so everything becomes highlighted together. And what that does is group all those images. So if I kind of now want to like double finger tap or copy, and over here I want to paste that whole grouped image. So it's going to come as a group. And as I drag it over, I'm going to align it, which is kind of neat. But now again, I want to use my right click or my double finger tap and go to rotate and flip horizontally. So you can see how we're starting to put together something that is symmetrical. So now what I want to do is now take this whole entire top half and flip it down. So I'm going to drag my mouse and click over the entire top half so everything is grouped as one image. Again, I want to copy that and paste that and drag it down. And this time I want to flip vertically. So I'm going to rotate, flip vertically, and I'm going to make sure that the seam is closed there. That's pretty close. So now we have a symmetrical kaleidoscope we've made from our own images or from a curriculum hunt that students have done. They're pretty stunning, and I would usually print these off and put them all over a bulletin board. So we call it something like a land quilt. Something that's a bit more primary friendly would be one like this, where you have fewer shapes to put in. And again, these were actual images taken by some of my students as we wandered around our school and looked at all the different sorts of ways land was being used around our school. So it would be a simple search the web, or in this case, they'd be searching from their Google Drive, and they found like sidewalk concrete was something that there was a lot of around our school yard. So I'm going to select this one here, and these were all nice triangles. So students were able to kind of drag the image to the same size as the first triangle they talked about. Great chat about fractions here. We've talked about making that very first triangle about half the height of the page. Over here, the grass one, and then everything else fit into place easily after that. So now it seems as though it's the right height. I can also drag it over so it's the same width. So I've now made that square. That's going to work really well. And that crop button, mask, and now we have that perfect triangle that we're able to rotate to fit into a different location here. Let me try that one more time. And keep going. There, that should do it. So now I should be able to drag that in, and that should be awfully close to what I'm looking for. And if you do find they have a little gap in between, you can just sort of extend one of the triangles just so it there. So now I've gotten rid of that piece. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed learning how to get creative with images. And again, slides and Google Drawings works exactly the same. You'll have all the same editing features. And just remember that it's all about masking and cropping, right? Thanks for learning with me today.